So bear with me. I'm gonna take a look at something quick. Let me get ready. Alright. I'm gonna get ready here quick. Um let's see. Right here. I'm gonna go right here. Let's go right here. I'm gonna hear this thing, live. I'm gonna do live thing, Because some of these people out there, they don't know, man. There's a lot of doctrine of devils out there. So let's see how we're gonna do this thing. Let's see how we're gonna do this thing. Let's see. I wanna put it out there, what I wanna put, to so many prophetesses in the world. Today, let's put it like that. You put it like that. So many prophetesses in the world today, man. We will see so many prophetesses in the world today, man. Shalom, family, shalom. First and foremost, we give all praises, glory, power unto the Most High, the living God, Yahweh, through His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. And shalom, shalom, shalom to the family. Shalom to all the 12 tribes of Israel scattered throughout the four corners of this earth. Shalom. This is the brother Frankie coming at you. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we give all praises, thanks, glory, power unto the Most High, the living God, Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the one that created heaven and earth. Unto Him belong all things. We say shalom to all the brother, all the sisters out there on the highway, on the byway, doing the work of the Most High, risking your life, being attacked, all type of things coming at you, bury, rejoice, because this is part of the work that we doing with who? A Mashiach. Right. So, first and foremost, I want to say this before I start, right? So, we don't support any political party. We don't belong to none of them. Okay, we don't support them. We don't believe whatsoever they say. We don't follow the agenda. So keep that in mind. We do not belong to none of them. Whether it be in Africa, whether it be in Europe, whether it be here in America, whether it be in Canada. We do not. Right? This is just for information, right? We do this just to give wisdom, understanding to our people so we can know who we are as a nation, so we can be able to discern, right, who is lying, who is telling, who is telling the truth, right? Because all things must be done, right, in order, in decency. So you got to keep that in mind. So, like I say, I do not support none. So keep in mind, I want that to be clear, right, out there. So that I ain't going to be like, okay, he's a supporter of the new Pharaoh, Joe Biden, or I'm a supporter of the other Pharaoh, Donald Trump. I do not, okay? Okay. Politics is an organized crime, point blank period, okay? That's Caesar. That belongs to Caesar, okay? I have but only one king, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. I have but only one king, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Let's go right here. Before I get into it, let's go read it. I have but only one king. Who? A Mashiach. Let's go right here. Let's go first and foremost in the book of Acts. Let's go to Acts so I can address what I'm saying, right? So we want that to be clear. Okay, we want that to be clear to everybody, If you're a new one on my YouTube or, on my Facebook page, keep in mind, we do not go with the weakness of this world, right? We follow the righteous. The righteous is the Most High and Yahweh Mashiach. Okay, so let's continue. This is the book of Acts, chapter 4, and we read verses 10. He said, be known to you all, to all of you out there, to the brother, to the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native. We don't belong to any political party. We don't. And we don't support them. Okay, keep in mind. We do not belong to them, and we don't support them. All right? We believe in the law, the commandment of the Most High. We believe in the living God, Yahweh. Okay? So keep in mind. He said, be known to you all and to all the people of Israel. So mainly this letter or this book was written by the Israelite to the Israelites. So keep in mind, okay? He said that by the name of Yahweh Mashiach of Nazareth, whom ye crucified, right? The one that was hanged, that was put on the tree, right? Because of our sin, okay? Whom Yahweh raised from the dead, even by him does this man stand here before you whole. So the brother was healed. So Peter and the other apostle, they were being accused and brought to the justice. They were trying to kill Peter and the other brother for healing this brother in the name of who? Yahweh Mashiach of Nazareth. So let's keep that in mind, right? He said, this is the stone which was set at naught of you builder. So people that refuse, right? You got a lot of people that refuse, they reject the Mashiach. Like until this very last day, we see a lot of people, they are into different doctrine. Shalom, shalom, shalom. They're into different doctrine, right? So let's see, he said, at naught of you builders, which is become the head of the corner. So Mashiach is the one, he's our king. He's all thing for us, right? So keep in mind. Okay, neither is there salvation in any other. So that's the main reason why I say to keep in mind, we don't support any political party. We don't belong to them. That's for Caesar. That's from Caesar, okay? Given unto Caesar what belong to Caesar, unto the Most High what belong to the Most High. We are with the Most High. So we're working with the Most High, not with men, okay? So let's keep that in mind. We don't worship men, okay? We don't care who is in the office. We don't care who is the Pharaoh in the White House. We don't care who is the Pharaoh, okay? Because at the end of the day, you know, you got to work to eat, right? They don't put food on your table. They don't put free food on your table. So keep in mind, right? He said, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. So the only person by whom we must be saved is who? Mashiach, right? Shalom, shalom, shalom. The only person by whom we shall be saved is who? Mashiach. So keep in mind. So I'm going to share the screen, right? So you can see, I want to expose somebody, right? This woman right here, right? So take a look very well. So this woman right here, I received this video like a couple of days, I'll say 3 or 4 days ago, right? So I received it 4 days ago, right? From somebody, all right? So as you can see right here, her name is, so she says she's a prophetess. You can see on the screen right there. Her name is a prophetess, Raji. So that's when you take a look at the name, you can say, so PH stands for prophetess. So a woman that is a prophet, okay? And when you take a look at her, you can tell just looking at her, right? I could be wrong, right? Because I was researching to understand where is her father from. So I can tell looking at her, based on my opinion, I would say she is Indian, East Indian. She's from India, from Asia, right? So she says she's a prophet or she's a prophetess. So let's keep in mind, right? So what we're going to do, this video is about like 30, let's stop like 30 minutes, right? So we're going to go into it and we're going to address some of the, mainly it's going to be the content, right? The content of her message or whatsoever she's saying, right? Whatsoever she's claiming that she's doing, right? Let's keep in mind. Right, so people can take a look. Her name is Raji, right? We can say he's Elam, right? Elam or East Indian, right? Shalom, 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 shalom. So we can see right here. First and foremost, we got a couple of problems right here. Just taking a look at her and her attire. We already got a problem right here. We already got a lot of problem right here. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, right? So that's what I'm going to start with, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, because, you know, if they want to teach a woman, hey, we know according to the scripture that the Most High, he set up righteous, I'll say, women, to do his work, right? We can learn from our brother, our beloved brother, and great grandfather Paul. There was a righteous woman that was doing the work of the Most High, right? But they were not going off, and they were doing everything with what decency, righteousness. They were not going off, right? They were not dressed up like that, right? Now she does not look like one of our people, right? So peradventure, we know our people scattered throughout the fuck of this earth. Maybe I was researching to find out who is her father. I couldn't find it. Yeah, I've done so much, but I wasn't able to pull it out or to find it. So what I'm gonna do, as I say, let's go right here in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11. I'm gonna go over there first and foremost. Let's go over there, because this is some of the stuff that we need to address. Because and some of these people, they don't have a lot of followers. They have a lot of followers, and the brother and the sister that are teaching righteousness, they don't even have followers like that, right? They don't have that much viewers or things like that, right? I do have a YouTube channel, but my viewer barely, I do have like 90 so far. So keep in mind, right? So it's all the work of the Most High. The Most High moved the Spirit. So let's read it. So first and foremost, when I take a look at her, she ain't got no cover on her head. So her hair is not covered. Now she says she's a prophet, right? She's a prophetess, right? She's serving the Most High. That's what she said, right? She's a heathen to me. I could be wrong. She's a heathen. Looking at her, she looked like East Indian from India, right? Okay. Let's read it, what the Most High say. So this is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verses, I'm going to read verses 1 first. He say, be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. So who is talking? It's Paul. It's Paul, right? So let's keep in mind, Paul is telling us that we got to be a follower as he is a follower of Amashiach. So she says she's a prophetess. PH stands for the word prophetess, right? Raji, right? So her website is www.prophetessraji.com. So she got a big crowd. So this lady, first and foremost, take a look at her hair. Her hair is not covered, right? Let's see what Paul said. He said, now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them unto you. So Paul said we got to keep it. We got to do it, right? Let's continue. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ. So the head of every man, it doesn't matter who you are. Our head is who? Amashiach is Christ. Okay? And the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Christ is the Most High, Yahweh power, right? So let's keep that in mind. So to our sister and our mother, some of our, I'll say cousin, things like that, we got to understand. So if you are a woman of Israel, of the nation of Israel, you got to understand that your leader is the man. Okay, your leader is the man, right? And the leader of the man is who? Amashiach, Christ of Nazareth. And then who is the leader of Christ? The Most High, the power, Yahweh, right? Let's continue. So let's read, we'll jump to verse 5. He said, but every woman, right? But every woman as this woman that is claiming that she's a prophetess, right? Okay, she says the Most High who ordained her. We'll play some of her video and you listen. He say that prayer or prophesied. So she's prophesying, right? Supposedly she's prophesying. We assume it, right? She's prophesying. He say prophesying or prophesy with her hair uncover, dishonor her head. So first and foremost, she is into multiple sins. First and foremost, she dishonor her husband. If she got one, I don't know. Maybe she ain't got no husband. I don't know. Now, whether she has a husband or not, she dishonor who? The man. So she's going against the man. So if she got a husband, she's going against her husband. In case she doesn't have it, she's still going against her head. Her head is the man, right? Okay, let's keep in mind. He said, with her hair uncovered, dishonor her head, and he's dishonoring who? Amashiach. Then from Amashiach, he's dishonoring who? The Most High. Let's keep in mind. For that is all, is for that it is even all as one, as if she were shaven. So Paul is saying, listen, if you're a woman and you're praying or you're reading the Bible and you don't have your hair covered, right? So it's like just go and shave your head. So a woman, usually, naturally, women are not supposed to shave their head normally, right? How we live in a different world today. So we live in a different world where, you know, you see that today among our people, our own women, right? You know, they shave the hair, you know, because they don't have shame, right? He said, for if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn, you see? So she got to be shorn. She got to go remove all her hair and be like bald hair, which is not good. But if it be a shame, so it got to be a shame. Because today, most women, they don't understand that, right? So some of them, they want to cut their hair short, or they want to do all type of things. You know, it's just our people, man. We just going off all the time, right? And because we lack wisdom, we lack knowledge. Hosea 4 and 6, we destroy it because we lack wisdom. We lack the word of the Most High. He said, if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. So if it's a shame for her, she should have been covered. Her head should have been covered, right? Let's keep that in mind. So now, that's where we want to address first, right? Let's go now to the video. You can listen.
I'm so glad to share some of the revelations and the dreams, along with the interpretations that God revealed. It's very long back. Right after God revealed the inauguration of Trump. And
so bear with me. I'm going to post this thing. So first and foremost, she said God revealed unto her, right? Okay. She said the Most High revealed unto her. Okay. Hey. She said the Most High revealed unto her. The living God power, Yahweh, revealed unto her. Now, that's how you know that it's all lie, right? So, who are you? Why are you worrying who is in the White House? What does it bother you? So, if you're a real prophet of the Most High, you should be worrying who is in the White House, who is not. It should be your business. What you got to do, if you really, this is my opinion, right? Okay. So if she's really a prophetess, and she should be worrying about people keeping the law, the commandment of the Most High. First and foremost, she should be worrying about the Israelites, the so-called blacks, the so-called African American, the so-called Latino and Native Indian. And throughout her video, we're gonna see if she's addressing those one or she's just focusing on one individual. You see, that's how we know that this is not from the Most High. Okay, she's speaking Satan. Listen, Satan is the prince of light. A lot of people don't understand. Satan operate, man. I've seen it in the Christian church before. I used to be Christian. I've seen Satan wrought a lot of miracle, man, in the Christian church. Until I woke up, the Most High woke me up and give me understanding. Believe me, listen, I've seen a lot of things in the Christian church. Honestly, I've seen way too much. Being in the Christian church more than 20 years, man, I've seen a lot. So it's nothing new. I've seen things like this. Now, when you focus on just one individual instead of addressing the whole nation, right? She's supposed to be addressing the whole, like I'll say the whole nation, all the Israelite, right? Now, her message is not to Israelite. She was not talking to the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native, none like that, none like that. So let's see. You say God revealed unto her. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go to, continue playing, okay? Listen to her.
I knew nothing about Kamala Harris.
So she said she know nothing, whatever about Kamala. So Kamala Harris, that's the vice president. If you don't know it, that's the vice president, the vice pharaoh, right? Vice pharaoh of the pharaoh Joe Biden, right? Keep in mind. So that woman, her mother is from East India, East India, just as this woman claiming to be a prophet or to be a prophetess, right? Same thing. And her father is from Jamaica. So Lord willing that Kamala Harris, her father literally is like one of our race, one of our people, either Benjamin, Levi, or Judah from Jamaica. We are assuming, right? Her father looks like one of us. Now, she's getting on Joe Biden and Harris Kamala, something like that, right? But mainly her focus is on the vice president. So now, we don't support none of them. I already said it. We don't support politicians, okay? They're doing their weakness and we focus on the Most High. They do their weakness whatsoever way they want. So is the content of this woman.
This is how, I intentionally make myself to be blinded to see what the enemy is doing and everything. I pay no attention to that. So I never know her background.
So listen, right?
I never know where is she from, whether she's a Christian or Jewish or Hindu or I don't know. Even
you can see just from her gesture, everything she's doing, like something fishy. We can tell the way the people condoning themselves. We can literally tell, right? So let's see. Let's continue what she got to say.
I don't know her role, what she is going to be. And that is the time. Some few people, they were talking about Kamala Harris. She is talking about the Sabbath. She knows something, Jewish festival and all.
So keep in mind, she mentioned the word Shabbat, right? She said Shabbat, that this woman is talking about the Shabbat. Now, we know for sure that this lady she's referring to, Kamala Harris, or what is her name? The vice president. She is married to the synagogue of Satan, right? Her husband is from the synagogue of Satan. So her husband is a Jewish guy, right? So that's how we know for sure that that's how she came to know about the Shabbat, right? So if it's not for her husband, probably, she won't be keeping any Shabbat or doing anything like that right now. The Shabbat did not literally came from the Jewish people. It came from who? The Most High. Let's prove it, right? So that's the point. So you got to give credit to the Most High, the living God, Yahweh, always. But these heathen, they don't want to operate like that. They just want to talk. They want to do things just the way they want to. Let's go in the beginning. Because in all things we do, we got to give thanks, glory unto the Most High, the living God, Yahweh, all things. Whether it be good or evil, let's go right here. He's the creator that set it up. He's not the liar, right? He's not the synagogue of Satan or Kamala Harris. She didn't know anything about the Shabbat. It's the Most High that established his Shabbat, right? Let's read it. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2, and we'll read verses 1. It said, thus, so we're going to read, let me see, actually, bear with me. Let's read it. So we're just going to read verses 1 through 3, right? So let's read the verses 1 through 3. So this is the book of Genesis chapter 2 and verses 1 through 3. It said, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, on the Shabbat, the seventh day, right? And on the seventh day, Yahweh ended his work, the Most High. He ended his work which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. You see that? So the Shabbat didn't come from man. It came from the Most High, Yahweh. Okay, let's keep in mind. Because a lot of people get caught up into some type of like man doctrine, things like that. No, it's the Most High. It's not man. So some people think it came through Moses. No, it did not came through Moses. The Shabbat was being observed by who? Adam, right? Abel, Cain, Noah, and the list goes on and on. They kept the Shabbat. The Shabbat did not just pop up one day. The Most High kept, and continue to keep the Shabbat. The angel, they keep the Shabbat of the Most High. Right? Let's go right here. Let's go in the book of Hebrew. Let's go to Hebrew chapter 4. Right? Let's read it. Okay. This is the book of Hebrew, right? So this is the book of Hebrew. Let's read it. Because it's important that we understand. Right? Because sometimes we always think it's a man. This came from man. No, man came from the Most High. Right? This is the book of Hebrew chapter 4. And I'm going to read first and foremost from verses, let me read from verses 5. It say, verse 4 actually, it say, for he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise. So that's what we got to keep in mind. He said the Most High. For he spake in a certain place. Which place? Genesis. We can start from Genesis. Genesis chapter 2. Then, we can go to Exodus chapter 20. There's so many places. There's so many precepts. We can go to Hebrew. We can go to Ezekiel. We can go to Jeremiah, Isaiah, and the list goes on and on. The Most High kept on repeating. We can read throughout the whole gospel about the Shabbat. Right? So let's keep in mind. He said, for he spake in a certain places of the seventh day on this wise. And Yahweh did rest the seventh day from all his work. So the Most High, he rests the seventh day, right? It says, seeing therefore it remained that some must enter therein. So some brothers and sisters, they will keep the Shabbat. Some they will not keep it. So let's keep that in mind. Some will keep the Shabbat, some won't keep it. Why? Because of unbelief. They don't believe it. Right? So keep in mind, and they to whom it was first preached. So the Shabbat was first preached unto some people. It was preached unto our forefather during the time of who? Moses, right? When the Most High firstly established the nation of Israel. So the Most High used Moses to give us what? The Shabbat. So let's see what happened. He said, they to whom it was first preached enter not in because of unbelief. You see, as I said it, I was just quoting. Just because of unbelief, they did not believe. Like our people today, they don't believe we got to keep the Shabbat. They don't believe, we got to, the women got to wear long dresses with fringes. Some people don't believe it, right? So they don't believe it. We don't force them. We don't have to force anybody. If it's the will of the Most High, they will keep it. If it's not the will of the Most High, they will not keep it. Right? He said, again, he limited a certain day, saying in David, today after so long a time, as it is said, today if you will hear his voice, harden not your heart. Because our people, we always rebel against the Most High. We always turn ourselves into witches. In which, right? Because we don't want to keep the commandment of the Most High. We always want to go against the Most High. The Most High say, don't do this, don't do that. Don't do this, don't do that. Do this, do that. We don't listen. We do our own thing. We always follow Satan, right? Verses 8, for if Yahweh have given them rest, okay, then will he not afterward have spoken of another day. You see that? So the Sabbath or the Shabbat, you see the Shabbat, it did not came through Kamala Harris, right? And she learning from who? Surely she did not learning from her husband, right? Or I mean from from her father, because her father is one of our people from Jamaica, right? But he went to school right here, right? So she learning, this woman, she learning from her husband, right? Let's see. He say, there remained therefore a rest to the people of God. So you got to keep in mind, there is rest to the Israelite, only to the Israelite. Now, if the other nation, they want to keep the Shabbat, all praise to the Most High, they can keep it. They can keep it. Right? But mainly, our focus right here are the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. With the Israel, this message, first and foremost, got to be addressed to those people because they're the one that need help. Because these people, they know who they are. These people, this woman talking right here, these prophetess right here, imagine that. They know who they are for sure. You see what I'm saying? We don't know who we are. Right? Let's keep in mind. It said, there remain therefore, like consequently, right? A rest to the people of God. Who is the people of the God? The Israelite, the Hebrew Israelite. Today we don't speak Hebrew. Nevertheless, many of our brothers and sisters, the Most High bless them with that gift where they learn Hebrew and they're speaking Hebrew nicely. May all praise to the Most High. Right? So let's keep in mind. He said, for he that is entered into his rest, he also has ceased from his own works as Yahweh did from his. Okay, so the Most High, what is it? If you keep the Shabbat, that means you cease from all your work. All the work you do for 6 days or how many days, 6 days or whatsoever you make your money, whatever, you cease on the 7th day, right? He said, let us labor therefore, you see, let us labor therefore to enter into rest. Now here, he's also referring to making it into the kingdom. Keep in mind, it's still rest right here. You make it into the kingdom, you do the work of the Most High, you keep the commandment, you teach the brother on the sister on how on the byway, you do your work and you keep the Shabbat, then you enter into the rest. Moses is in the rest right now. Okay? Abraham, Isaac, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and John the Baptist, John the Revelator, and the list goes on and on, right? Many of our brothers today in this generation, in this time right now, those that labor in the Most High, and kept the Shabbat, guess what? When they die, they go into the rest. They rest. Their soul rest. So keep in mind. He said, let us labor therefore. So he's talking about both. Whatsoever work you do, you got to rest on the 7th day. To enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. Some people don't believe it. They don't want to keep the Shabbat. So, right? So let's see. So she said that she learned the Shabbat. Let's listen, right? We're gonna listen to her. Let's see what she got to say.
And then I was just asking God, what about it?
So imagine.
And
she said she got it. God. She said she's asking God. She asked the Most High Yahweh. Okay. Hey, let's see. She asked God.
She is from Hindu background, and she is from Chennai. Her name is Kamala Devi, and she is carrying the name of the Kali, which is the Jezebel. I'm not sure.
No, she's lying. She said she asked God, right? What are you talking about? Everything is on the internet. What are you running your mouth about? All you got to do is go Google Kamala Harris parent or origin, things like that. You find everything. You say you ask God. Why are you lying, man? That's a lie right there, man. What are you talking about? You ask the Most High, really? in that attire, the way you dress up with your hair uncovered. First and foremost, we don't consider you to be an Israelite. The Most High forgive me if it happened to be that your father is one of those Negro that were taken from West Africa and sold as a slave by the Arabs, right, throughout the whole Asia. Because we do know that a lot of our people, the so-called Negro, right, they are in Indonesia, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Yemen, Iraq. We know that. We done research. We saw a lot of them in India, China. Our people over there. Some, lately, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, they got a visit. We got brother from Ghana, okay, Nigeria, Senegal, where they're living right now. It went in Japan, China. They got business in Japan. And some of them are teacher. Some of them are schoolmaster or headmaster in university, things like that. I've seen it. Okay, Negro, right, in Asia, scattered because of our disobedience, weakness, evil, right? So she said God revealed to her, no, man. You Google Kamala Harris, listen, ethnicity, background, it'll show you everything, man. Why is she lying? All she got to say is that she went on YouTube or she went on Google. Listen, come on, man. And, guess what? That woman she's referring to, she's the assistant to Pharaoh right now. What does it mean? All the information, mainly to know about her background, is all written on the internet. You don't need to say that you ask God whether she's for. It's all right there. As soon as you Google, you find it. So what is she doing? She's lying. First of all, is she an Israelite? We'll address that, right? Let her continue to talk.
Anything about that.
All right.
And at that time, very long back ago, and God revealed a dream in a dream. And then I was very uncomfortable to share the dream to others. It is very inconvenient for me. Usually, when God shows God's servants